Harper Audio presents Give Us Liberty, a Tea Party Manifesto by Dick Armey and Matt Kibbee, read by Pete Larkin. Copyright 2010 by Dick Armey and Matt Kibbee. Production copyright 2010 by HarperCollins Publishers. Prologue. Revolution and Retreat. Now, we Americans understand freedom. We have earned it. We have lived for it, and we have died for it. This nation and its people are freedom's model in a searching world. We can be freedom's missionaries in a doubting world, but ladies and gentlemen, first we must renew freedom's mission in our own hearts and in our own homes. Barry Goldwater. The pendulum of politics is always swinging. Republicans gain seats, Democrats win them back, and the struggle continues. The one thing that seems inevitable, no matter the party in office, is the continued growth of government. Occasionally, however, a fresh jolt of conservative energy interrupts that growth. I have witnessed 3 conservative revolutions in my lifetime, each of which taught important lessons. Barry Goldwater came first, offering a choice, not an echo. Ronald Reagan was next, and proved that small government conservatism was the best path to peace and prosperity. Under Reagan, we regained our national confidence, and our economy flourished. A few years later came the third wave, the 1994 Republican Revolution in Congress, and its contract with America that resulted in the impossible, a balanced budget. I was a student in Oklahoma, studying economics, when Barry Goldwater ran for president in 1964. Never had I heard a political figure speak so passionately on freedom, the genius of the Founding Fathers, and our enduring values as a nation. That same summer, I heard Ronald Reagan's classic campaign speech, A Time for Choosing. During this time, I was so engrossed in my studies, I almost never thought of politics. But Goldwater was different, and for the first time in my life, I was excited and inspired to participate in the political process. I did not think of myself as a conservative. I thought my belief in personal and economic freedom, respect for the Constitution, gratitude for those who served in the armed forces, and trust in my fellow citizen was just common sense. My beliefs and values were shaped by my upbringing. I was born in Cando, North Dakota, the 5th of 8 children. My parents operated a rural grain elevator, and this is where I developed my interest in economics. I remember my parents quieting all the children down at 1 o'clock every day so they could hear the grain market report coming in. Oats up, wheat down, corn holding firm. This was the market, supply and demand at work. It was also during this time, I remember, post-World War II refugees from socialist Eastern Europe fleeing to the prairie. It struck me that people would leave their homeland and everything they knew to go someplace for freedom. I did not see anyone fleeing the United States to go in search of collectivism. My father was an avid fisherman, and I would often join him for trips up north to Canada to fish for northern pike. The drive to our fishing camp passed through countryside dotted with painted barns, straight from a Norman Rockwell canvas. But as soon as you crossed the border into Canada, I noticed the barns were unpainted. I wondered why Canadian farmers would allow their barns to degrade from exposure to the elements. The answer, I discovered, was government. At the time, Canada taxed painted buildings, so farmers left their structures exposed to avoid the penalty. These things make quite an impression on a child. After a few years working as a lineman for a local utility, I decided to become the first member of my family to go to college. But I was stunned when the common-sense values I grew up with were militantly rejected by many on campus. It was during the Goldwater campaign that I learned of an elite who existed in government offices and college faculty lounges, and who were hostile to the universal values of the American people. I could not believe that here in America, a group of people believed they were entitled to redistribute wealth to satisfy their notions of social justice, regulate others' lives, and understand my best interests better than I. Years later, when I was the chairman of the economics department at North Texas State University, now the University of North Texas,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?